Hi, this is BJ Smothers, and I'm here at the NGS conference in Charleston, and I'm here today with Bernice Bennett. She's a speaker here at the conference today. She's done a workshop on tracking the homestead papers of African Americans living in Livingston Parish, Louisiana. Well, welcome to Afrogenius booth, Bernice. How are you?
Thank you.
Good.
I'm doing fine. I'm glad my presentation is over. I'm very excited that I was able to share with the participants the research that I've done on the homestead entry papers.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that set of records and about what you talked about today.
Okay, the homestead entry papers are based on the Homestead Act of 1862, where individuals who were over the age of 21, a single woman, even a former slave could apply for land in Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and all the states other than the 13 original colonies. And so I traced my ancestry to Louisiana, and my great-grandfather was successful in acquiring 159.33 acres of land in Livingston Parish, Louisiana. Now, this is a parish with a very small number of African Americans, and not only did I find his records, but also trace the witnesses who were there to testify that he did what he said he did as far as cultivating the land. Now, if an individual was interested in getting land, the first thing they had to do was apply for that land. They had to put in a claim, and then they had to live on that land for at least 5 years. They had to show proof that they didn't just sign a paper, they had to show proof that they cleared the land, that they built a house, and then they had to have people to testify on their behalf. And so that's what I was able to do. Now, the 4 individuals that they named, or at least my ancestor Peter Clark named, Henry Tingscale, Charles Baptiste, Alfred Robinson, Marshall Douglas, and Robert Bennett were all people who knew very much about what Peter had done to that land. One individual I looked at was Marshall Douglas. Now, Marshall didn't own land, but Marshall was a member of the U.S. Code Troops. And in his papers, he described his life. And he had one of the witnesses for Peter Clark, and his name was Henry Tingscale, who also was a witness for Marshall Douglas in his records. So I started seeing a community relationship, because I started, as I looked at all the different records, that the men, the witnesses, testified for each other. And this showed me more of a community. I also had an old family Bible, of which I obtained evidence to show when Peter Clark was born, and it was 1855. And the Bible also showed when he died, which was 1909. So I knew that the land had to have been acquired at some point. So I looked at the 1900 census, and I saw that indeed Peter Clark owned his land. He owned his land free and clear. He could read, write, and speak English. And so then I traced it back to see exactly when did he apply for the land. And it was 1887, and he got the land in 1896. So the papers are there. It's something that I would like to encourage anyone who has had oral history and have been told that their family members have land, to at least examine the homestead entry papers, because they may find that indeed their ancestors were homesteaders, and there are 93 million homestead settlers, descendants out there. I would love to find all the black homestead descendants. I mean, that's what it's all about. I think it would be good if we could tell our story, because right now we don't even have the statistics to tell us how many blacks acquired land under the Homestead Act. And this is something that I hope the word can get out, that people will look in the records. One place they can look is the Bureau of Land Management by going to the BLM.gov site. And they can put in the name of their ancestor, and perhaps they may be surprised. Information will come up that states that that ancestor got land. When they do that, they'll get an application number and they'll get a certificate number. And they can also order a copy of the patent. And that's wonderful because that patent would be certified. And everyone who acquired land did get a patent. And I'm really happy because my ancestors' original patent is right now in the home of a family member. So not only do we have a copy from the Bureau of Land Management, and it is a copy, but there is also the original land patent. So there's so much information out there. Field notes that describe what the land looked like, and this is something that we should talk about, we should share with each other.
Well, what a wealth of information about a set of records that a lot of people don't know about. If they would like more information that you know, how to go about researching these records, how would they be able to get in touch with you?
I can be reached at bennb2@verizon.net. That's my email address.
Well, thank you very much. This has been interesting, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Okay, thank you.